What's going on, everyone? So, the Utah Jazz are a team that have been linked to the Los Angeles Lakers. Even did a video diving into a potential Walker Kessler as well as Colin Sexton trade and the new updated asking price for Walker Kessler, which is still 2 firsts. But reports came in that the Utah Jazz may be the most likely trade partner for the Los Angeles Lakers, even from Jazz side of things, that both sides could potentially get a deal done, that Danny Ainge really covets the Lakers draft picks, that he believes that they are the best on the market, which he might not be wrong, right? Like, by the time these picks are conveyed, LeBron James most likely is going to be retired, and Anthony Davis might not even be in the roster at that point. So the Lakers could be looking at, a top pick that could go to Utah, and Utah already has made multiple trades with the Lakers, right? Danny Ainge made the trade with Patrick Beverley, and then also was the one that bailed us out of the Russell Westbrook situation that ended up leading us to a Western Conference Finals. So Danny Ainge, for as much as people like to say, like, Danny Ainge isn't going to help the Lakers, he's helped us twice, right? So again, I could see him absolutely doing it, and it's because he just values the Lakers pick so much. He thinks that those are incredibly valuable and are worth kind of going and acquiring, especially if he can get the protections removed, right? You have the pick that is already due. Maybe you work something out where you remove that protection and you add another first, right? I don't think that the Lakers could trade both firsts to the Jazz, right? The main targets are Walker Kessler as well as Colin Sexton. You can't give up both firsts, right? You need other pieces. But if you could get them for, again, removing protections, a first, and maybe like a pick swap or something, so you still maintain a first. Because the Lakers have 2 firsts, 3 pick swaps, and I think 5 seconds that they can trade, right? So basically, if you keep a first to go make another move, go make other, trades or whatever, right? Get a Dorian Finney-Smith or something, right? Like, that I think would be ideal. Perfect world, again, I've said it, my perfect scenario trade would be Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then Walker Kessler. At that point, kind of give up whatever you need to give up, however it ends up working. I mean, I still don't think you should give up both first for Walker Kessler, but, if you kind of look at it as like a package, then maybe you could justify it, maybe you could argue it. But sticking just to the Jazz, I do think that there is a path there. And look, Danny Ainge's asking prices are always insane, and then we've seen him drop. Example, the Lakers trade for Russell Westbrook. That trade was there the previous trade deadline, or the previous offseason, right? But it was 2 unprotected firsts is what Danny Ainge wanted, and he was going to give up Rudy Gay, Mike Conley, and Malik Beasley was what he wanted to trade. Those 3 guys. Vando wasn't included. Lakers were trying to get Vando. He was like, absolutely not, absolutely not. We're not trading Vando, right? Then you got to like the start of the season, and he was like, all right, fine, tell you what. 1 protected, 1 unprotected. And then he was like, all right, tell you what. All right, both first unprotected, right? Just take, or both first protected. Sorry, top 5 protected or whatever. And then he was like, all right, fine. And we'll just do it for 1 first. And the Lakers were like, no, we still want, Jared Vanderbilt. No. And then the trade deadline came. And what happened? It was Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt. Oh, and they helped us go get D'Angelo Russell, right? How do you feel about D'Angelo Russell? Like, he was the better guy at the time, right? So it was like, boom. There we go. And, oh yeah, by the way, it was 1 protected first rather than like a bunch protected first. Danny Ainge put his money where his mouth was, right? Like, Danny Ainge talked about, I really want the Lakers picks. And guess what he did, right? Because, look, Utah's already been offered, according to reports, I mean, I don't know this personally, but according to reports, Utah's already been offered 2 firsts by the New York Knicks for Walker Kessler and said no. So it can't be just 2 firsts. Right? There's got to be more kind of stewing in Danny Ainge's head. Also, you got to look at kind of the situation that they're in, right? They have several bigs. They're going to be in the Cooper Flag tank race. They might end up actually getting Cooper Flag. It would make sense to start getting off of some of these big men. My hope, unless he just drops his price to a first just naturally, then fine. Like, if he drops his price to a first naturally, then fine. Go get him, right? Because, again, I think go get him. Go get Zach LaVine, go get Dorian Finney-Smith, and you still keep a first. I know Dorian Finney-Smith, they want a first for Dorian Finney-Smith. They're not going to get a first. I mean, they've been trying to get a first for Dorian Finney-Smith for years now. Dallas was trying to get a first for Dorian Finney-Smith, and no one was biting. I do not see them getting a first for Dorian Finney-Smith. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I just don't see it, right? Or if it is, it's probably like an insanely, like top 15 protected or something like that, and it conveys to like a second, right? Like I could see something like that. I think more likely than not, I think you could, if you can go get a first for Walker Kessler, just go trade for Zach LaVine, and then 3 seconds for Dorian Finney-Smith. So then you still have your pick swap, you still have a first, and you have a couple seconds still left over that now you can go and pivot into next season, right? And kind of just see it, like, how does this look? But I look at kind of the Walker Kessler deal, and my hope is that it's like, hey, we can offer you expiring contracts, right? Like, we can give you D'Lo, we can give you Jalen Hood-Schifino for Colin Sexton as well as Walker Kessler. That right there is value, right? Like, you're getting off. Walker Kessler is going to be due for an extension, so you're going to have to pay him, right? And he's not going to be as easy to trade depending on how much you give him, right? So get that done. But also Colin Sexton, you have him. He's a great player. He's a good player, all that, right? But he's also making, $19 million or 19 and some change next season, right? Well, you have Lauri Markkanen kicking in his new contract, right? Like, yes, you're going to have a bunch of cap space stuff like that, but like, would it be nice to get off of some long-term salary here? Wouldn't it be nice to get off some things so you can kind of retool and reshape? You might not even be able to trade Lauri Markkanen at $40+ million, right? So it's like, hey, we'll remove the protections, right? We'll give you D'Lo and Jalen Hood-Schifino. According to reports, the Jazz are interested in Jalen Hood-Schifino and want to kind of get a look at him. Hey, it's a win-win for you, right? Like, if he works for you and you kind of like see the potential for him, then you can keep him. Sign him a new deal. Sign him to, whatever, 4 years, $10 million, right? Like, he's going to be a cheap asset for you. And then you could let D'Lo walk, you let him go, or you could look to go flip him elsewhere, right? Like, you still have options there. There are other teams that are interested in him, right? So it's just like, boom. There you go. And then if Jalen Hood-Schifino doesn't work, you just let him walk and you clear 20, almost $22 million off your books, right? And then on top of that, we'll remove the protections of the pick you already have because they already have it, so give it that. And then we'll give you another first. Because at that point, right, again, like, now you got your point of attack, guard with athleticism, can apply rim pressure. He basically, he did technically beat us, right? But his coach ended up having a faux pas there. If it wasn't for that, he beats us, right? So to me, it's kind of like, okay, you get athletic guard, solve that kind of guard position. He's still young enough to be, a piece for now and the future. You get your center for now and the future. Literally, Walker Kessler could be your center for the next 10 plus years. He makes a ton of sense. Look, he's still a project. Like, that's the other thing, right? He's one of the best shot blockers in the league. Don't get me wrong, right? Guy that gets you double-double. But he's not this, like, offensive savant, right? Like, all his shots are basically just rim lobs. Now, he has shown the ability to stretch the floor slightly. He's hit a couple threes, in previous seasons and stuff. But, again, he's a project. He's a guy that has the piece, the unteachables that you need, right? He has the instincts and the shot blocking and all that stuff, right? He's a guy that can really make an impact to the degree in which the Lakers need. But he's far from a finished product, right? Like, you're hoping that he can evolve in that. And who knows, like, where he'll be. Like, there's still a risk to it. It's just he's a guy that makes a lot of sense for what we need right now and for the future slotted alongside Anthony Davis, right? LeBron retires, right? Boom, you just slide 80 to the 4, plug in Kessler at the 5, and now you have your core foundation piece. You got a Dalton Connect, who can be, your 2 or your 3. So now you're just looking for a wing, a guard, and then, when Anthony Davis rides off in the sunset, you at least have a foundation. You have Dalton Connect, Max Christie, unless you trade him at some point, but you got Dalton Connect, Max Christie, and Walker Kessler is like a foundational group, right? And then, you're going to get other picks, you're going to get other pieces, you got to get other stars, you're the Lakers, right? Like, to me, it just makes sense. Right? Like, he now it solves, like, you're hoping to draft a guy in the next few years like Walker Kessler. Well, you already got the guy, right? So, like, if you can give up a first for Walker Kessler, give up a first for Walker Kessler. But can't give up both first because he does it, like, even if you get Colin Sexton. Like, Colin Sexton and Walker Kessler definitely make the Lakers better. I don't think they make them the top tier level. Right? I don't think that they're one of the best teams in the league. You never know. Like, again, I've said it before, don't underestimate the value of the right piece or two. Look at Dallas last year, right? they were looking like a team that was like, are they going to miss the play-in again? Like, they was not looking great. And then, Derrick Jones Jr., like, boom, figures it out on both sides of the basketball a little bit for them. And they go get Daniel Gafford and they go get P.J. Washington. And tide just changes, right? Like, if the Lakers can go get a Colin Sexton and a Walker Kessler, right, and then maybe go pivot and go get a Dorian Finney-Smith, right, now you got your guard, now you got your 3-and-D wing, now you got your backup center, and for now in the future, and again, Colin Sexton's a guy that can be here for now and the future, you're in good shape, right? So, ideally, I think if you can get that done, get it done, but it can't be for both first. You got to at least keep a first, in my opinion. But, again, Danny Ainge, he likes the Lakers and their assets. So I do think that there is a path there. And I do think it kind of makes sense that the reports and talks are like, hey, Utah's the team to look out for. Even Jovan Buha, I believe, talked about Utah potentially being one of the likely trade candidates. So something to keep in mind. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? I agree with my points, disagree with my points, kind of mixed in the middle. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.